Welcome, everybody. This is our Thursday night patching podcast call. My name is Eric Beall, and tonight is I've been waiting for this all week. This is a special night for us. We're going to have a little different format tonight, and you're going to love it. I have one of my dear friends on the call tonight, actually a couple of my dear friends. So before we get started, I'd like to turn it over to my wonderful co-host, Suzanne McGee. Suzanne, if you want to unmute real quickly and get the call started for us, and then we'll get started with Stephen and Jan. Suzanne, you'll need to unmute.
There we go.
There we are. Success. Thanks for being patient, everyone.
Yes. Well, welcome. It's so good to be back. It's been a while since I've done the podcast, and it's great to be back. And we welcome Eric, and we've got a wonderful lineup tonight. You're going to really enjoy this call. Eric, go ahead, and I'm going to do the disclaimer, and then you'll go ahead and admit.
That'd be great.
And I can go ahead and admit people for you. Just 1 second.
So, Suzanne, you have the disclaimer?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and read the disclaimer, and then I'll keep admitting folks. Thanks.
Okay. The statements we make on Lifeway products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Our content is for informational and educational purposes only. Please consult your physician or appropriate healthcare provider with respect to your own symptoms or medical issue. Our technology is not proven based on conventional medicine standards and should not be used in place of medical care. And now with that, let's go ahead and be excited to hear what we have tonight.
Thanks, Suzanne. Appreciate it. So everyone, grab a notepad. Those of you that are new to this call, this is your first time seeing one of these calls. The person who invited you tonight really, really, truly cares for you. When you hear the information that they're going to share tonight, this information found my family just about 2 years ago, and it was absolutely life transforming. And so we're talking about this light technology. And the first person I want to introduce is a really good friend of mine. We've known each other 32 years, and he's actually going to co-host along with us tonight and interview a very, very dear friend of ours, Jan Weissar, from Topeka, Kansas. So, Stephen, I'm going to turn it over to you so we have plenty of time to hear Jan's story. And thanks for helping out tonight with the hosting.
No worries at all. Glad to do it. It's going to be fun to do this because Jan has an absolutely amazing story. It's so amazing that earlier today when we were talking about doing this, I told Jan we've got to condense this down to 20 minutes. So we're going to try to give this amazing story. Is not only one time, 3 hits. This is a triple play here. Jan, please introduce yourself, and I'm going to ask the first question after you introduce yourself.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I am just so privileged and honored. I'm Jan Weissar. I've been living here in Topeka for 11 years.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Now we have, like I said, we have a triple play here. So let's start with the first one. Tell us about your condition and what happened the very first time that you started this.
Okay. Well, a brief history. All of this created a condition that was heart-wrenching for me. I've had a history of sore throats, episodes of bronchitis and pneumonia that culminated 14 years ago in sepsis and encephalitis.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know those terms, but those usually take people out, and they die from that. I miraculously, by God's grace, survived, but I was unable to read, write, walk, or talk. I had to learn all of those again. So why did that happen? That I couldn't do those things. The doc said that with the testing, my adrenals were totally flat-lined. I had overarching autoimmune conditions. That's a pretty broad category. But for me personally, my thyroid went kind of wonky. My hair was falling out and very, very thin. I had a big patch of psoriasis in the back of my head. I had repeat lung infections over and over. I had low blood sugar. And then typical of autoimmune, I had many sensitivities that I didn't have before that. So the environmental sensitivities that I was left with were lung related things that the doctor actually diagnosed as COPD years down the road. I resisted it because I just hated label and I didn't want to have any of that. I was never a smoker, but it was because of the infection in my lungs. And that made me sensitive to smoke, to any chemicals in the air. Hug someone, you smell the perfume in their hair or their clothes. Other environmental things like LED lights, the computer. I would sit in front of a computer even 6 minutes and my system would go into cry. I just had to go away. I couldn't be anywhere near. I was sensitive to things that I would eat. Like my doctor did all of the tests and said, Jen, you got to stop eating your eggs, wheat, and dairy. And I thought, to live, I can do that. I can do that. So I quit all of those things. I was also sensitive to sounds, Stephen, like bright lights or things that, like at church, when they'd crank up the music, I would just cry. It was not a move of the Holy Spirit. It was, my system was just in cry mode. Yeah. Then I would have like 6 months at a pop of low grade fevers that the doctor couldn't explain. All of these infections and things that would happen. Then this was a real kicker. I had cognitive decline, and that's not a sweet thing. That's something we cover up. It's like when you forget the names of your daughters and you only have 2, or your grandchildren, or you get lost driving home from women's Bible study. And you try to cover that up from the women at the Bible study and your kids and yourself, getting lost walking out of Walmart. Bad deal. So one of the things that they did, they had me take high dose vitamin C's once every week for years, all out of pocket. Supplements, tons of vitamins and supplements they told me to take that I couldn't even afford to take at all. I was using an EpiPen, and I was on full replacement steroid, hydrocortisone, for the thyroid stuff.
Boy, they had you all in a big bag of things, didn't they?
It was just trying to keep me alive, Stephen, because I was just a fragile one at that point. And my life was so completely altered, I couldn't function normally, really.
So tell us what happened. What happened in your life? And I think it's the same thing that happened to mine. But what happened? Who came out of the woodwork for you?
Well, when I was diagnosed with 5 different things at one time, 3 strains of influenza A, 2 of influenza B, and pertussis whooping cough, that almost took me out. I was taken to the doctor's office here, or the emergency room, and the doc said, you need a blood transfusion and shots of B12 right away. You're so critically ill. That's the reason you can't hold your body temperature anymore. So rather than being admitted to the hospital, I came back home, said, I'll pray about this, see which direction I should go. And I had it down a heart to heart with the Lord. I said, Lord, if I've done everything that you've created me to do, I'm so ready. I was sleeping 75% of my day and in such bad shape. I said, but if not, open the door or a window, a crack, so I can come through, and I will serve you with every breath you give me. I went to sleep, Stephen, not knowing if I was going to wake up on this side. I truly was peaceful about that at that point. Next thing I remember, my cell phone's ringing, and I pick it up. Jen, hi, this is Eric Beall. I was in prayer this morning, and the divine told me, call Jan now. Why, Jan? What's going on? Eric and I have been friends for years. I hadn't talked to him for 2 months, and I was fairly well then. And after I told him what the doc had told me the night before in ER, oh, he got real quiet. And then he asked me, Jan, what have you heard about stem cells recently? I said, just don't mess with babies. I didn't know anything else. And so within 4 days, I got my patches, X39, Eon, and I also added X49.
Right.
And started to patch.
Great
And then,
combination.
oh,
I said that's a
and
great combination.
it just changed everything. Day one, I wrote this down so I would remember it. Day one, I was able to go the entire day without one nap. And I'd been sleeping 3/4 of every single day. Wow. Plus, this is huge. My body temperature came up from 93.5 up to normal. And I hadn't had normal body temperature for 13 years, but it came back up to normal day one. Day two, I thought, wow, I feel so good. Maybe I could walk 2 blocks down to the fountain on Shadow Lane. I walked a full 45 minutes, Stephen. The full walk that I did. Didn't do my 70 push-ups that day. I'm sorry, I mean squats, but I walked 45 minutes. Day 4, I went through day 1, 2, 3, 4 on tax day, April 15th, 2023, last year. I dreamed in color. Amazing. And I woke up without a cough. Remember I told you about that COPD? Okay, so for me, every morning I would cough 4 or 5 Kleenex. Sorry, too much information, but 4 or 5 Kleenexes just in order to get out of bed to begin my day. I woke up day 5, no cough whatsoever. It's astounding. Time goes on. In 2 weeks, I was so excited. I called Eric and just in tears. I said, Eric, I was on the computer 13 minutes and I'm not crying. I accomplished 10 things. And that I'd not done that in 14 years.
So you got your life back is what you got.
I did. And then after 2 months, I got my brain back. This is astounding. Remember I told you I had, well, they politely call it cognitive dysfunction, right? Okay, so what happened with me, a part of that was not being able to make decisions. The thoughts just rattled in my brain and I had such a hard time deciding simple things. 1:30 at night, I'm sitting there and in my bed, straight, trying to solve a problem. And all of a sudden, out of the darkness of the night, it was like all of these black marble thoughts colliding in my head. just dissolved into a black liquid on the inside. That's how, this is my perception. You know, I don't know if this ever had happened to anybody else,
Right.
but for me. And they liquefied and drained slowly. I could just feel on the inside of my body, you know, like when you pull a plug of a bathtub and the dirty water drains out. And I just sat frozen thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening here? And by the time it got halfway down, was gone, disappeared. And oh, the lights came on in my brain and I resolved my problem and thought, oh, went right to sleep. It was amazing.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And you guys listening need to understand, this is a woman who speaks multiple languages that all of a sudden got all of this back again after she'd lost it. Okay. I mean, this is truly unbelievable. Now, because I know how much time we got, I want to jump ahead to the next issue that happened to you when you got whiplash, when you got hit from behind and got whiplash, and
Yep.
and what happened to you.
Okay, so like this was in April of this year, so it was like a full 12 months that I continued patching. Why did I patch? I patched because I was ready to be healed. No matter what happens, I didn't have any illnesses anymore, but things happen, you know, that's why they call them accidents and not on purposes.
Right.
So here's what happened to me. This rear end, when I got rear-ended, it left me, it caused muscle tearing in both of my shoulders, both of my wrists into the hand, and in my left knee. It was like, I don't do sports, but it was like this, couldn't lift it. It twisted my spine, everything on a torque, couldn't move my head clear at the atlas level. And then the third thing was the whiplash, which caused a concussion inside my brain. So the PA that I talked to said it would take 8 weeks to literally months for me to be restored and have full range of motion within my whole body. But she said, you're wearing those patch things, aren't you? She said, we'll see how they work. Now, I was in such pain. I thought, okay, I mean, what can I say? Guess what? 12 days, not 8 weeks, 12 days. I had full range of motion in 12 days. And 12 days before that, Stephen, my daughter took me to her house because I was unable to feed myself or dress myself.
Oh, wow.
And
Incredible.
it's real. It's all documented in the doc's office. But anyway.
And we're going to round out the triple play here.
Yeah.
As though you haven't had enough challenges, you fell on your wrists and you got a sprain and your hand swelled up. This is a completely different incident. Tell us about that.
Okay. Well, so I didn't exactly fall, so I have never fallen. I've got to say that up front because they always ask us elders that question. And so I was headed to take the trash out. I hit black ice and the trash can, the trash went sailing through the air and I'm flailing to keep my balance and whack my wrist on the cement by the garage. And I'm thinking, oh, this is how people break things. But the x-ray showed that it was not broken. It was just a severe strain. What do you call it? Strain? What do you call it? A severe
sprain.
Yep, that's it. A sprain. I always get strain and sprain mixed up. Anyway, so I had to wait. She said it would take, well, my hand was huge, like sausages, my fingers.
Your hand was swollen up.
Yeah.
And so your hand swelled up and then you patched up.
I had to wait until, I had to wait until 11:30 at night, 3 hours later, in order to take off my 12 hours on, 12 hours off, all my patches, I whipped the thing off my hand, and all of a sudden I hear this. And the pain dissolved. And I literally watched my fingers that were fat like sausages get normal size. And I could see the little bones in the back like this, see, in the
Yeah.
back of my hand.
That again, this is all incredible. It's what I call a great triple play. You've done a marvelous job telling us what you've done. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on and sharing this with everybody that's on the call. It's a marvelous, marvelous story. And we are so happy that you are back to yourself and back to being a terrific individual and a terrific person. And we all are better because we know the association with you. Thank you so much. Eric, I'm sorry, I got nothing to follow with that. That's
Yeah,
the best
Stephen,
thing.
that's what else do you say? Jan, thank you so much. I'm so excited to watch you go through this journey and process. So I'm sure everybody on the call is wondering how it's possible that something that looks like a tiny Band-Aid can do this. So I'm going to pass it back to Suzanne and let her share with you. She's amazing at sharing how this technology and the science behind this works. So Suzanne, go ahead and let us know how this amazing technology works.
And I'm looking forward to doing that. Now, here it is. It looks like a Band-Aid, correct? And many times people ask, well, what is that? Just looks like a regular Band-Aid. But it's so much more. It is wearable light technology. Inside the middle of this patch, adhesives, there are organic crystals, a little sugar, and non-latex. Our patches are proven to be non-transdermal, which simply means nothing goes into our body, but gently stimulating the skin with light. Our general wellness patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a way to be vibrant and healthy again. This is cutting-edge patented technology, can help restore balance and well-being. It helps the flow of a natural energy in your body to support wholeness, body wellness. So what happens? Do you know our bodies emits heat in the infrared spectrum when placed on the body? Think about a movie where you see a spectacular or specialist wear goggles, and now that you see them looking at bodies in the dark. I'm sure you've all had an opportunity to see that. So when our technology is placed on the body, it causes them to reflect that light back to stimulate special points on the skin, and that promotes a light back into the body again, where you can now see the image of this, what is truly specific and unique with our patented technology. What is that? The X39 activates GHK copper peptide, which in turn causes our master cells to repair and rebuild our bodies. We were born with a crystallization master cells, which actually creates our critical organs. And then now those cells were imprinted with our design, and those master cells knew which and where to create and know how to repair. Isn't that marvelous? In our 30s, half our master cells go into our bone marrow. I think it has our army taking a rest. Our body starts repairing half as well. And by my age, my body is repairing, but maybe 10% or so. Well, this technology triggers our own master cells to go back to work. You are supporting improved exercise performance, strength, and stamina with zero drugs or stimulants. You wear the patch 12 hours on to activate, and then 12 hours off to signal the repair. And then that's your resting time. We give our body rest as well. I put them on in the morning and remove at night, and have incorporated them into my regular routine. Do what is best for you, your schedule. Just wear them consistently. That's what's so important. Our wearable light technology is affordable. Get with the person who referred you to this call so they can tell you more of how to get it and improve your light and your health with using this
We're
technology.
going to end this thing.
Eric,
right on
let's
time.
get back.
Thanks, Suzanne. Everyone, this has just absolutely been life-giving and transformative for our family and friends. So I'm going to talk a little bit real quickly in the next couple minutes about the origin of this, and then I'm going to mute everybody out real quickly. We still got a little bit of, hold on one second. So this originated, our founder and CEO, David Schmidt, founded this company. It's more than 20 years old. It originated when the Navy SEALs and Department of Defense reached out to him. Now, he holds over 150 patents, technological advancements, more than 80 in regeneration, and the Navy SEALs Department of Defense invited him in to create a way for the SEALs to go out in mini subs and create energy without caffeine or amphetamines. That's where it originated. And he accomplished that. They went on to do other things, and then he developed and patented this technology. The technology's been used by Olympians. There's no chemicals or drugs in it. The Banned Substance Committee, the Olympic Committee, did an investigation. Not only are there no substances that leave this and go into your skin, there's no chemicals or synthetics or substance in it. It's truly the world's first patented light technology. Fast forward to 2019, this particular patch called the X39 activates things in your body, this master cell. The company was doing around between 20 and 30 million at that point. They've grown 2,000%, and this year they'll cap off since 2018 at 3,000% growth rate. This is a global movement. They're peaking at over $500 million in sales because it simply works. So the person that invited you here genuinely wants to help you. So get back with them, get your questions answered. We'll be here next week, same time. And I appreciate all of your time. Grab a notepad, write all your questions down, and get back with the person that brought you. And I appreciate everybody's time tonight. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.